Hello! Hi guys, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel, it's Hannah here. We're talking about this palette today, testing it out, that's why I've just got my base makeup on. I used this in my last video, love it to death. Look at it, it comes apart! Oh my god. Anyway, let's just talk about the palette. So this is what the palette looks like. It's two different parts to it. They are collaborations with, I cannot pronounce people's names, words, anything like that. Cole's World and Zachary Vang. So that is Zachary Vang, that's the bottom of the palette. This is blushes and one highlighter. You can use this as a highlighter as well, but that's what that looks like. And then we've got this one here, which is the top of the palette. So we've got two under eye brightening powders and all these bronzy kind of colours here. I'm going to insert a clip of the swatches here. So obviously the brightening powders you won't probably be able to see on my skin tone, but all the bronzers look lovely. And these are the blushes and the highlight. Let's just get straight into it. I used some new brushes last time I used this product, like the first time I used it. So I'm going to use my regular brushes this time. So we've got Morning Star and Shell. So you've got my yellow tone one here and a pink tone one here. So if I'm blinding you. So you can mix in between them. Obviously that one's more pinky, that one's more yellowy. So I'm just going to mix in between them. And I'm just going to pop that underneath the eye. And I like to do like a little tapping motion. So it's almost like you put a baking powder on. These powders are super soft. They don't feel heavy whatsoever. This is a Zoeva 126 brush. That was a MAC 133. So I'm going to go in with some Bum, which is the lightest colour first. So I'm just going to pop it on. And I'm just going to slowly work my way in. Because I like to start off with a lighter bronzer and make it darker. And build it up rather than going too dark straight away, because then it's like it's blending more. Blend that more. We'll put it up here as well. What I appreciate about these is they're super creamy. Like I cannot express that enough. I'm just tapping this on. I'll put a little bit over my eye as well, just there, just so it looks a little bit bronzy. You can use these as eyeshadows as well, but today I'm just going to focus on the skin, underneath the chin and underneath the jaw. That is what we're looking like, bronzer versus no bronzer. It does look super soft. It went on like a dream. So I'm just going to do this side now. Let's do little like soft tapping motions upwards. I think this colour is super nice. But as you can see, just tapping it on and it's just blending into my foundation. So nice. I can't say this. The second colour, I'm going to take that just slightly and tap it off, and I'm just going to just put that on just the edges here, just so it lifts it a bit more and gives it more like that sculpted effect. You see what I mean? Compared to that side. So I'm just going to make it a little bit higher there. So take that up a little bit higher there, making it slightly darker underneath the nose a little bit as well. I like to put it really underneath the nose because it makes it just lift up. Can you see how bright my under eye looks? And this is the bottom of the palette here. I am going to use, and you can go like this as well, I'm going to use this one here, this blush here called Offering. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And I'm just going to start tapping it on just a little bit higher than the bronzer. You can just see how glowy that is. Oh my god, it just reminds me of, similar to the MAC Extra Dimension blushes, and they are my love. Like the texture of those are my love. So the fact that these are very similar, in my opinion. They're not completely the same, but like they've got that similar kind of effect to them. So yeah, I love how they're looking on my skin. You see what I mean? Like it's just super glowy. But I'm just going to tap away a little bit there, just so we've not got glowiness on his pores. But yeah, I liked how that applied, because obviously I didn't use that brush, I forgot then. So yeah, you can use it with that like brush as well, like a big one like that, because that's what they use who created this palette. But I like this little one because it stamps on the pigment a lot easier. It's like more dense, the brush. And then highlighter brush that I use is this My Kit Co one. That was the P. Louise 638 brush. And then this is the My Kit Co 107 brush. And again, I'm just going to take that Lotus colour there. And I'm just going to pop that just on the highest point of the cheek. I kind of just mainly focus it here now. I don't really move it around that much, but it is a very glowy highlighter. You can use the tiniest bit and it will go the longest way. I like to put up here as well. Oh, I use my finger. I always like to use my finger when I'm doing this part. Just a little bit there. It looks so nice on the skin. And then a little bit on the chin. So when I got excess product on my brush, I like to just put it on the temple. Is it the temples? Above the brow. Anywhere the light hits, I'll put like the excess on. And then you can just like blend that in. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, I sneezed. Oh. And then I'm just going to take a little bit more of that blush and just tap it on top. Just so that highlight hasn't completely gone over it. And again with the bronzer, you can just tap it on top of where the bronzer was if you feel like you've lost that colour a little bit from the blush. Because sometimes when you put the blush on, it covers up the bronzer just the tiniest bit. But then now what I'm going to do, I'm going to test out the bronzers as an eyeshadow. So I'm going to take the second one there, just on a normal blending brush. And I'm just going to pop that right in my crease. Because they are bronzers and the formula is super creamy, I don't know how many times I've said this throughout that video, but because it's super creamy it should be easy to blend anyway. They're not going to be like super pigmented for eyeshadows because they are bronzers, they're not meant to be eyeshadows, but so you can just see what I mean. So you can use this for an eyeshadow as well. Just tap that on. I just want it to be a little bit more smoky, so I'm just going to pop that on the crease and then a little bit onto the lid. So just something like that. You can see it just gives a little bit of something for the eye. Just lifts it a little bit as well. So you can use these as eyeshadows as well. This is only the second lightest one, or second darkest one. The second one in the palette, that's what I'll just say. So yeah, they are really nice on the eyes as well. If you just wanted something just in your crease, you can see it just easily blending out. I'm not putting too much work into it. They're just blending out super nice. I just put a little bit on the lid as well, on that out part. Just on a big blending brush. And then you can actually take the third darkest one. I'm going to put underneath my eye. Just go back and forth. Just to make sure my eye looks nice and open. Can you see the difference it makes? Makes my eye look super rounded compared to the other one. Like that. And then I could do, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do my signature smoky liner look. So I'm going to take the darkest colour, Spark. And I'm just going to test this on the eyes. See how it looks. Ah, I put too much pigment on there. Tap it off. You know what I mean? You can go on holiday with this palette and you don't even have to take a neutral eyeshadow palette with you. You've just got this. Super easy to use. And then just blend that out a bit out. A little bit darker. I love it. I love a multi-use product, I really do. I can't really tell what I'm doing this because I'm concentrating. I'm like, ah. I'm not used to doing eyeshadow like after the skin. This eye's always easier to do as well. It's like a cat eye effect. That a little bit underneath as well, some outer corner. And I'm going to pop, so I'm just going to go off camera and finish my brows, put some lashes on and put a lip on, and I'll be back to show you the final look. Just added lashes, brows and a lip. I did not expect to love this palette as much as I do. Literally, I love the look of it, the concept of it, the actual formula, because sometimes palettes can look really nice and they just don't perform as well as you want to. This was a massive surprise of mine. The powders are just super creamy, easy to blend. I've probably said it so many times, but they're so creamy. Like, they are literally so creamy. Like, you can see how like soft it looks on my skin. Like, it doesn't look heavy or anything like that. And obviously you can go in with, I've only gone in with the lighter bronzer. You can go in with the dark ones and stuff, but I like to have a more sun-kissed effect, like just something more like a little bit softer, a little bit more bronzy vibe rather than a really contoured look. But yeah, definitely recommend you guys picking up this palette. 20 Blend will save you 20% off this palette as well. Definitely recommend it. It's worth the money, especially if you're a makeup artist. It's definitely worth the money. I'm going to get another one for my kid. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video, like a little mini review and demo. And I shall see you guys in my next one. Buy the palette. 20 Blend. Use my code. Thank you, Lord, for all you do for me, for all you've done for me, for how you love me.